Dice out. Now. Game! Greetings, dear listeners, and welcome to our podcast. My name is Chich, and I'll be your DM tonight, and the players with me are Dia.
It's been 84 years!
Well, you're looking pretty good for your age. Jan.
Hi. Shit, I was expecting you to call out my name last, and now I forgot what I wanted to say. That doesn't matter. Hi, I'm here.
Cora.
America, I sleep. D&D, real shit.
And Richard.
Hello, I was here too.
So yeah, IRL, it's been quite a while since we last heard each other, wasn't it?
Months, actual months.
I've traveled continents!
Wow, me too, that's weird. Where did you go?
I don't remember. I was drunk for the whole thing.
Did you go to Ohio, by any chance?
Sounds familiar.
I went there and I'm pretty sure there was a ginger there that looked just like you.
Everyone knows Ohio isn't a real place.
Did you also go to Boston, by any chance, at some point?
Sounds familiar.
I basically went to a hippie concert in the middle of a cornfield.
That is very American. Was it a corn concert?
No, it was more basic than that.
Ugh.
Oh god.
But yeah, not only have I been away for like months and months, caught in the middle of the cornfield without an escape, I also got called into work today, and the stress of it has made me forget everything that happened last time we played. So, would anyone mind reminding me?
We were looking for what has poisoned Domin, the little boy who lived in the farm near the town that we were visiting. And we'd gone to a temple in the woods after we'd spent some time. I think Dekla used her orb of navigation to go find that. And we went in. So at the start of last episode, we had 5 people in white robes and glowing eyes running at us. Kazni activated his ring of light, and he noticed that they are undead.
They had no throats.
Their throats were ripped out.
Yes, Dawn dispatched the first one. Kazni cast Turn Undead and turned 3 of the 4 remaining attackers. He tells the others to concentrate on the unturned one, but Dekla ignored him. Dawn takes out the one who was not turned with his sneak attack to the face! Kazni killed the third one by stabbing it in the head. The first one that was killed got reanimated. Dawn killed another by stabbing it through the ear. Darren killed the reanimated one, then Kazni used Guiding Bolt to kill the last one. The second time the half-elf man got reanimated, Dekla and Darren realised that we needed to destroy the brains. Luckily, 3 had already had their brains destroyed, so we only had 2 left to get. Dekla took the half-elf man out and told Kazni to destroy the brain, so he stabbed the corpse through the eye. The final one, with an intact brain, got reanimated, and Dawn killed it by stabbing it in the head. Kazni found a symbol of St. Bernard on the dead half-elf. So yeah, it's mostly combat last week. Oh god. It's been so many years.
Last lifetime.
Yes. I'm 65 now, you know.
I was but a young lad.
There was another thing I wanted to... When the zombies reanimated, there was like a swirl of dark energy that reanimated them that came from somewhere, through the walls, from somewhere within the temple. I do think I mentioned that when it happened, but you know.
It was not in the recap, so it is useful to remember.
It wasn't included in the recap, so I don't know if that... It's something you would have noticed, so, you know, I'm telling you now.
Yep. Perfect.
Okay, so you just killed 5 zombies, apparently. They don't look undead. They look... If not for their throats cut out, they would have looked alive.
And their glowing eyes.
Yeah. I mean, there's many reasons why someone can have glowing eyes.
I suppose. I think I could have glowing eyes.
Yeah, and now that the battle's done, that you have a time to look around, like, those of you on top of the stairs, you can see the chandelier better, and you can see that there's several small golden sun trinkets dangling from it. And if you count them, there's actually 8 of them.
The most magical number of them all. So we had just found a symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we found a symbol of St. Bernard, and we've noticed suns on the chandelier, which also could be a symbol of St. Bernard, so...
And there was a symbol of the sun on the entrance of the temple, like, you know, it's not subtle.
We know that this is a temple of St. Bernard.
It's the same symbol as Dekla has on her hand. It's like...
And there was a brick that the boy found which had the same symbol.
Oh, it did, didn't it?
Like, St. Bernard is a mountain saint, so why does he have a temple down here?
In the middle of a forest.
Covered with shadows and crazy zombie things.
Did it look like a really old temple?
Yeah.
Like hundreds of years, maybe?
I feel like Dawn asked Dekla if she knew anything about this temple, or like why it was down here.
Yeah, Dekla said no at the time. She has never heard of this temple.
How very odd. You'd think that it would be well known. It's at least by the people who follow St. Bernard.
I mean, it took us a long time to find this. It's quite possible that it's a forgotten temple.
Well, I suppose it probably is. It must be. I'm just wondering if perhaps it was in more of a clearing when it was built and that the trees have grown up around it.
So what are you doing? You are on the staircase right now?
I'm not gonna make any decisions because I already made a couple of bad ones in this temple, so...
We are kind of still exhausted from that battle, so...
I think I have like 0 spell slots left.
I appear to have full hit points, but I am missing a lot of spell slots, but that's partly because this morning we wasted level 2 spell slots on...
Impressing a little girl.
Yep.
Yeah.
Only to be upstaged by Dawn the second he showed up.
But that's a natural phenomenon.
I've got quite a big chunk of my hit points gone, and I've got no key points or spell slots, so I'm fucked.
Looking at the group, Dawn sees that Darren has fallen flat on his face multiple times, and Dekla had taken a bit of a beating. And so he suggests, this has been an introduction to this temple, but I feel like we should come back when we are more prepared.
Well, we have a sample of the poison now, so we probably can...
We did get what we came for, although, and Dawn sort of looks wistfully around the temple.
Well, I do feel like if you set traps on your temple that include poison, somewhere in your temple there should be an antidote. Otherwise, that's extremely poor planning. What if it gets set off accidentally by someone you like?
Unless the whole idea is to make sure nobody gets in and lets out whatever is inside her.
Could be.
You know, you have a point. But I still think that there's a chance it could be in here. But... do we know if anyone in Mosgara is, good with potions? I mean, we had the alchemist in previous town, but if we can find someone who knows anything about potions or poisons, perhaps we could just take them as sample and maybe they can make or find an antidote for us.
I know about natural remedies, so I might be able to make one. It would take some work. I still want to investigate this place. This is tied to my order, and I haven't seen anything like it before.
It might be worth also remembering that we're being paid to look after somebody. Albeit an idiot. A complete ass.
Well, I don't think it would be a good idea to leave him waiting, but I also don't care enough about him to go back to him if this does end up taking that long. But we could just rest for a little bit and keep going.
I look at it this way, he's not going anywhere without us, and this is far more interesting.
Oh, it is. It's very interesting, but, I'm feeling quite magically drained at the moment. I mean, who looks the worst out of Darren and Dekla?
Honestly, I don't know in what shape Darren is, because
Darren's gone unconscious twice, at least, I think. So.
Yes, but I was healed at least once already. The thing is, I don't remember what I was up to, and it doesn't look like I recorded it. I did record my spell slots. I wrote them down. But when I open my character sheet, it just shows me my total.
If we take a short rest, you could spend hit dice, so just, take off 2, and then we could keep going.
If we're going to have a rest, might I suggest we go outside for that? I feel like it's not that safe in here, and I don't know. As odd as this is to say, the forest does seem somewhat safer.
Well, there was the stuff that was in the forest that we saw earlier.
That's true. There's a bench in the courtyard, and now that snake is dead, maybe it's safer there.
Yeah.
Or perhaps just by the door. If we're by the door, it'll be...
If we're by the door, we have a defensible back to us. and only one route for things to come at us. So that's probably the best way to set up.
Let's just just nip down the stairs and...
I will keep watch over you all. I am feeling quite energized. Something about this is just getting me all excited. And he flashes a grin with lots of teeth.
Alright, so do we short rest outside?
I'll get my channel divinity back. That'll be useful.
Yeah, you go back downstairs, you go outside through the front entrance. It's still a sunny day outside. It's between noon and 1 right now.
Oh, about the time I said we'd be back.
Yes, this is when we said we'd be back.
I told Fucknuts that we'd be back around,
Yep, you did.
but he's not going anywhere, so... Also, if he is, I really don't care.
Yeah. I mean, if he gets killed, bully for us.
Although we will be missing out on a payday.
Kasny will sit on the floor just inside the door, and he will practice with his playing cards, shuffling them and doing little tricks with them.
Okay.
Dawn is going to go make sure everyone's settled and then go explore the bottom floor.
Don't wander off too far.
Oh, don't worry, Kasny, I can take care of myself.
Yes, well, when you die, I'll have all your money, okay?
Psh, I am far too pretty to die, my dear.
That is not really how it works.
I don't think the zombies give a damn.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they all looked ugly, but hey.
Or maybe they were trying to kill you out of jealousy.
Okay, like, Dawn, I'm just letting you know, if something happens and your ass needs saving, like, the rest of them are drained right now.
Yes, but Dawn thinks he's invincible.
I know he does, but, like,
But he's going to get us all killed.
Don't worry, he's not going to be stupid and run off and explore the entire place, but he will be sensible and stealthy, but he's still going to go have a wander around.
If you find anything, just come back.
Of course, I'd hate for you to miss out all the fun.
Who has the, symbol of the...
I found it. But if I didn't give it to Dekla, I will give it to Dekla. Because clearly it is for Dekla. It is Dekla's,
Thing.
saint, so,
Okay, so Dekla, you have the symbol now.
Mhm.
Cool. Yeah, so the three of you rest outside. There's still that weird, stale smell coming from the pool where the snake was. And there's also the smell of snake guts.
Snake guts.
Delicious.
So, Dawn, you go explore. Where do you go exploring?
Okay, so in full caution mode,
Yeah, you're still aware of the trap on the bottom of the staircase.
Dawn is going to first stop by the entrance into the room next to the one with the staircase, and he's going to look first, both at the ceiling and the floor and all around.
Okay. You make your way to the room there, and you try to step in, and please make me a charisma check.
Charisma.
that shouldn't be a problem.
First roll of the game, natural 20.
Hey.
Nice.
Dawn is too hot for the room.
Yeah, okay, so you peek your head into the room, and as you do that, you feel this sort of a tangle trying to push you away, but you say, nope, not today, and you push in, and you manage to step in.
I'm too sexy for the spells. Too sexy for the spells. He sort of hums to himself as he... Is there a door in the doorway, or is it just open?
You're just exploring the ground floor.
Yes, I'm not really going out of sight for the moment of Kasny if Kasny's in the doorway.
Actually, as you do approach the room, you see a little bit of a sparkle, but you're thinking it's just reflection from the sun, and you walk in. And yeah, as you step in, you see there's 8 wooden desks and chairs, and they're arranged neatly for work in this chamber, and they're covered in thick, undisturbed dust. There's several alcoves from floor to ceiling around the walls, and within each are shelves, and they're piled high with scrolls.
Ooh. Dawn sort of moves towards the scrolls, fingers wiggling in midair.
Okay?
And he takes a knife out and sort of lifts one of them.
Yeah, and as you touch it, it crumbles to dust.
You should have taken me with me. Oh, no, actually, you can't use mending on scrolls because it wipes the writing.
Oh, does it? Interesting.
Yeah, books and scrolls, if you use mending on them, it wipes the writing. I believe that's a thing.
Okay. Is there any sort of, system for these scrolls? Are they labelled in any way? Are they done by subject matter, or are they all just shoved haphazardly on the,
Roll me investigation.
No, that's a 10.
Yeah, you spend a bit of time looking around it, but you don't. You see, there's some sort of numbering system to it, but you can't really make sense of it. So that doesn't really help you.
Sounds like the Dewey Decimal System. There's a reason no one uses it anymore.
Dawn calls out again, Kazni?
Yeah, Kazni, Don called you.
What's wrong? Kasny sweeps up his cards and pushes them into one of his pockets and heads over towards where he can hear Dawn's voice coming from.
You're a cleric, right?
Yes, I am.
Do you know anything about cataloguing?
Well, I mean, my temple had a library, although a system of cataloguing. It wasn't the standard form of cataloguing. So, why? What you wanting?
Nothing, I'm just curious. I see there's loads of scrolls in here.
Kazni, as you try to enter the room, roll me a charisma check.
Oh dear. I am blaming you for this, Richard. That's a 7, including my +1 bonus.
Aww.
Yeah, so Kazni, you tried to join Dawn in the room, and but as you try to step through the door, it's like you walk into a wall and you're pushed back almost a meter, and you take 1 damage.
What? Dawn!
Do I just sort of see Kazni stumble back from the doorway?
Kazi sort of blinks and looks a bit confused, and he walks. Where did it hit me? The door, right in the doorway, right on the threshold.
Yeah, right as you tried to enter through the door.
Right, I walk slowly up to the room and stop just before the threshold, and I put my arm out to try and...
Yeah, and as you're slowly reaching out, you feel this shimmer of energy, and you can actually see sparkles appear around your hand where you feel the shimmer.
Do I feel resistance?
Yeah.
I thought you said you were magically drained. Why are you sparkling your hand?
I am not doing this.
Oh.
There's something in this doorway. Some sort of...
I mean, it's not like a barrier. You think you could push through it if you really tried hard, but, it's resisting you.
It also just did me a bit of damage from walking into it, so if I really push, it might do more damage. Okay, so Kazni sort of moves very slowly but very deliberately through the doorway, sort of pushing against the resistance.
Make me a charisma check, and I'll give you advantage because now you're aware of it and you're actually trying.
Oh, natural 20 on the glow-in-the-dark die. Right.
Okay, yeah. You push through the barrier and, just through sheer force of will and not wanting to,
embarrass myself in front of Dawn?
not wanting to be outdone by Dawn.
Mm.
You push through and you enter into the room unharmed.
Well, that was mildly uncomfortable.
What happened? I saw you stumble backwards.
There's something in the doorway.
Dawn, you also felt this when you entered the room, but, you succeeded on the first try.
It's very strange. Perhaps you managed to get through with your nimbleness.
I mean, that would explain a lot. Well, now you're in here, you may as well come with me.
Okay, sure, I didn't need that channel divinity replenished. Okay, so Kazni approaches one of the alcoves of scrolls. They're very dusty, yeah?
Yeah.
If I touch one, does it disintegrate? I'll carefully touch it.
Carefully. It is old and brittle, but, you're careful. It doesn't disintegrate as soon as you touch it, but you think you probably shouldn't, handle it too much?
You certainly shouldn't unroll it, I'm guessing.
I mean, you could, that's what I'm saying, but,
Oh, okay, sorry.
Dawn, we can try and unroll this, but we need to be very, very careful. It feels exceedingly brittle. I could try to mend it, but my mending spells often don't go well with the written word.
I'm more interested in what's further on. We can explore this more as a group later.
Okay. Right, well, shall we call the others, or
No, let them heal a bit more, I feel.
Yeah.
They need their rest. Dawn goes to the doorway on the other side of the room.
You go through the doorway on the other side?
And pokes his head round the doorway to look down the corridor.
Yeah, make me a charisma check again.
17 on my charisma check.
Yeah, you feel that shimmer of energy again, but you just like sigh and push through it, and yeah, you manage to poke your head out.
Do I notice in his movements that this is going on?
Yeah, he stops his saunter for just a second.
Is it that thing again, Dawn?
Seems to be. I don't know. It doesn't really seem to affect me that much.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're a stubborn bastard, that's why.
No, he's just so self-centered, the idea that he could fail doesn't appeal.
Yeah. Kazni approaches it cautiously and once again just sort of like slowly pushes his way through like a bit at a time. Like his arm first and then a leg and then sort of...
Are you actually getting out or are you just pushing against it?
Dawn will put like a hand on Kazni's chest and go, "Don't rush, we don't know what's waiting for us."
I mean, you try to push the hand through, but he's still on the other side and it's resisting you. So if you want to do that, you're gonna have to roll charisma again.
Oh no, sorry, the way I imagined it, Dawn is still in the room, he's just poking his head through the door to look down the corridor.
Oh.
In case, like, anything shoots towards him and he wants to be able to duck back quickly.
Well, if you wanna stay in the doorway for much longer, you're gonna have to roll again because it's pressuring you.
Okay, that's fine. Dawn will move out of the doorway if nothing appears in the corridor, like it's not full of zombies or spike traps or something.
No, there's nothing in the corridor.
Hey, Dawn steps out into the corridor.
Okay, you step into the corridor.
Kazni attempts to follow, slowly and carefully.
Roll charisma.
Do I get advantage because I know it's there?
Sure.
Yes. That's an 8, even with advantage. Balls.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that on this side it doesn't knock you back, but you just try to push against it, but you can't and you're just, nah. It doesn't let you through.
Is Dawn looking back?
Is Dawn looking back?
Probably not, to be honest. He's far more focused on the doorways to 4 and 5.
Okay, in which case Kazni sort of steels himself and let's see, have I got anything? I don't think I took anything like that buffs checks today.
There doesn't seem to be any danger in the room where you're at, so if you wanted to stay there, you could.
I'm just going to have a quick look at this this scroll over here.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me know what you can find.
Okay. Kazni goes back to looking around the room and seeing if there's anything that looks in any way more solid.
Roll me investigation and we'll come back with you. Dawn, where do you go?
Hey, that's an 18.
It's pretty good. Dawn, where are you up to?
I'm going to check in the next room and then, again, checking at the doorway first, scouting it, blah, blah, blah.
So, down the corridor to your left is another door. And, you pass through that door. So, yeah, you step into this room and you see there are, 2 long wooden tables in the center of this room, full of bowls and chopping boards and other kitchen implements. And there's also various pots and pans hanging from the walls. And it seems very neat and orderly, but again, there's this thick dust that covers the surface of everything. So whoever arranged this thing hasn't been here in a long, long time. There's 2 staircases in this room that lead out of it. One of them goes upstairs and one of them goes downstairs. Yeah, and there's a door between the staircases.
Alright, Dawn will go through the door, using Mage Hand to open it to avoid any traps on his hands, because he said he wouldn't go up and down.
Yeah, okay, no trap triggers. You open the door and as you step through it, you see there's a feast laid out on a long table in front of you. There's 15 places set, and the table is piled high with a side of pork, roasted vegetables, stews, and a bowl of green soup. And despite being sort of covered by dust, there's like steam floating up from the soup, and it smells just delicious.
Huh.
Don't get turned into a pig.
Dawn blinks a few times and takes a big whiff of the smells.
Yeah, it smells like freshly cooked, home-baked meal.
Well, that's not disturbing at all. Do the chairs look like they've been used? Like, does the cutlery look like it's been used? It's all just laid out and nobody's touched it.
Yeah.
Huh. Is there an apple or something?
Yeah.
Alright, Dawn stabs it onto a knife and then takes it out with him and goes back to Kazni.
Okay, as you try to get in the room, make me another charisma check.
19 plus...
Yeah.
19 plus.
Again, you feel the room resisting you, and you're just like, why? Why are you doing this? Just let me through, and you go through.
Yeah, you might hear Dawn mutter going, please, as he walks through the door. Is Kazni still in here?
Yes, I'd made an Investigation check.
Yeah, as Dawn's been romping around the temple through the kitchens and the dining room, Casney, you've been looking through the shelves, looking through the scrolls. Like, you find that most of the scrolls are, like, they're either brittle, or they're blank, or they're just, like, various accounts and building plans.
If there's one that's blank, if there's one that looks very dull and uninteresting, that has something on it, Casney's going to try mending on it.
Among those scrolls, you do find a few that are still, written in beautiful calligraphy, that they have actually, prayers written on them, praising a god called Pelor.
A god? An actual god? Casney finds this very interesting.
I mean, you can roll religion to see if you know that's God, but it's going to be very low DC because...
I've had a religious education, because I went to the temple, didn't I? Would it be just history then?
Either religion or history.
I'd like to roll religion, because mine's slightly better.
I mean, you can roll either.
No! I got a 10, so unless it's a very easy DC.
You do know there used to be old gods, and since you haven't heard of a saint called Pelor, you're thinking it's probably an old god. And on another scroll, you find something describing a thing called the sunset. It seems to reference a prophecy or something. You're not sure what it's about.
Sunset, as in just a sunset.
Just says the sunset, but it's capitalized, so you're thinking it's a specific thing. And as you're looking through the scrolls, you notice in one of the alcoves, it has a falls back to it.
Ooh, right. Casney looks to see if there's any way of opening it.
There doesn't really seem to be like a lever or a button or anything, but you're thinking like you probably could open it if you tried. Actually, roll me just straight up intelligence. It's not gonna be difficult.
Straight up intelligence. I am dumb. I dums. I get 3.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's no lever. There's no button. Like, how the fuck do you open this thing? And at this point, Dawn walks back in.
Well, this place is very strange. What have you found? Anything interesting?
Some fascinating scrolls. They're very, there's some interesting things in them. I think this might not be a temple to Saint Bernard as we thought. I think this might be a temple to an old god, or gods from back when there were them here.
But all your gods are dead.
Where you come from, are there gods?
Dawn just looks at Kaz and says, We don't do gods as such. It's more everything has its own energy, its own spirit. The forests, the trees, the rocks, the water, the rivers.
Ah, yes. I know some places have gods, but...
I was led to believe that all the gods on this continent are dead, though.
Yes, that doesn't mean people didn't worship them in the past.
Well, this is true. What was the name, do you know?
Pelor? Pelor? Yeah, something like that. I show him the reference on the on the scroll.
Can I roll religion, or history, or arcana?
For you, I'd say it's history, because you did not grow up in this cultural environment.
Fair enough.
And it's gonna be super high.
Did you say that the references to Pelor were in multiple scrolls, or just in one specific one?
You managed to find 4 scrolls that are beautifully calligraphed, and they're not extremely brittle. So you think you could get some money for them if you tried hard enough, and yeah, all of them talk about Pelor.
Dawn rolled a 20, but that is a 17 plus 3 for history.
Well, you studied archaeology, so in your research you did come across the name Pelor.
Do I know what it was a god of?
Archaeologists assume he had something to do with farming, with the sun and the crop, and stuff like that.
Dawn says, wait, that name, I've heard reference to it before. It's some sort of agricultural deity.
Is it at all referenced by a sun?
I was about to say, it does have something to do with the sun, and this does seem to have a lot of suns in this temple.
Yeah, so I think we might assume that this place was for the worship of Pelor. But the gods have been gone a very long time.
I'm still learning the ins and outs of the religions here.
Yes, out of character, do I know how long the gods have been gone? I feel like as a cleric I probably do.
Roll me religion again.
Oh, great. 15.
You're not sure exactly, but, like, you're thinking it's, like, must be at least 1,000 years.
This temple must be much older than we thought. The gods have been gone for more than 1,000 years. I can't remember exactly. I'll need to check. Perhaps Declan knows. But yes, at least 1,000 years. I'm pretty confident. I mean, that's a long time for a building to stand.
It's an even longer time to have a fresh meal laid out in the refectory.
Wait, what?
And Dawn wags the apple on the end of his knife at Kasni.
Right. Okay.
However, if this is an agricultural temple, it would make sense that food stays fresh if it still retains...
You know, that actually does make a lot of sense.
But then why the undead? That seems like the opposite.
That does seem very strange. I mean, the gods' powers have gone, though, from this land. So, as far as I'm aware, unless this power's coming from one of the saints who holds domain, like I said,
So, do you want to have this conversation with the other cleric in your party?
that is a very good point. Right. I think we should discuss this more with Decla. Let's...
Did you find anything else before we...
Oh, yes. Yes, I did. This alcove here, I pointed at it and poked the back. This back is false. I haven't properly had a look to see if there's any way to open it, but there must be. So if you want to have a look at that while I keep looking at this scroll here.
Dawn has a look at the false back.
It's a false back.
How do I get into it?
Roll me straight up intelligence.
11.
You think that if you jam your dagger behind it, you could probably lever it open?
Okay, Dawn uses his dagger with Mage Hand, held in Mage Hand, to lever open the back of the false door.
Good plan.
Yeah, and you find a few more... There's a secret cubbyhole, and you find a few more scrolls in there.
The Mage Hand tosses the knife back, Dawn catches it, and will scoop up the other scrolls.
What a show-off.
Of course.
Roll me a dex, just because I want to be annoying. Roll me a dex just to see how well you catch it.
Yes, do this.
22.
Darn.
Yeah, the hand tosses it back and it makes a few loops. You catch it in midair and you twirl it around your fingers and...
Yeah, I roll it over my knuckles and then slip it back into my robes.
So yeah, there's 3 scrolls in there.
Do they look as dry and dusty as the other ones?
No, actually, they're kept in cases, like they're in individual scroll cases made of ivory.
Oh, okay. In that case, Dawn scoops them up with Mage Hand and brings them out.
As soon as Kasni sees them, he's like, "Ooh,
down, boy."
Those, I like those. Those, as a cleric, I think those would be a very nice thing to have a good look at.
Well, speaking of our other cleric, shall we go and rejoin them?
Yes.
We wouldn't want them to think we've run off and are canoodling. And Dawn wiggles his eyebrows.
Yes, of course. And I doubt if Darren will have any interest in this kind of thing, but I expect Decla does.
Darren's a sorcerer. Sorcerers are obsessed with knowledge, are they not?
You're thinking of wizards.
I tend to find people with power want more power. But sure.
Power, yes, but look at him. Does he look like the sort of person who reads?
Don't judge by surface appearances alone.
I snort derisively and sort of I'm sure you've never judged anything by appearances there, Dawn.
Oh, I do, but their personality, not their abilities.
I suppose you have a point there. I mean, he definitely does have some abilities.
Okay, so you leave the room.
Do we need to make charisma checks?
Yes.
15. Sorry, 14.
17.
So yeah, Dawn, you saunter off, and you don't really pay attention this time, and you walk into the barrier and...
Please tell me it throws him onto the floor and he has to make a dex roll to not fall over?
Yeah,
Yes.
no, you walk straight into it, and it throws you off balance for a second. Make me a dex save to see if you fall over.
Can I make an acrobatics check?
No.
Fine. +5 instead of +7. 19.
Yeah, no, you just sort of flail your arms around, but you manage to stabilize yourself, sort of flick your tail around. Meanwhile, Kasni just laughs and walks through.
Dawn trips up Kasni as he goes through. Because Dawn is petty.
Kasni's already gone.
Oh, fine, okay.
While you were catching yourself, Kasni has walked out.
If Kasni laughs at him, Dawn's going to smack him upside the head with Mage Hand. Not heavily, but just lightly.
No, it's not a laugh, it's more of just a subtle smirk. But you can't see because he's walking ahead of you and facing forward. He passed you in the doorway.
Fair enough.
And now he's ahead of you, so you can't see him smirking.
After that brief interlude where reality didn't work for a second in Dawn's brain, I roll a 16 to get out again.
So you catch yourself, you see Kasni before you, and you're like, well, you're not going to be outdone by Kasni, so you force of will your way through the door, and yeah, you both get out.
Behind Kasni's back, Dawn takes several longer than usual steps to catch up with him, as if he'd never been delayed.
Yeah, so you both walk out through the front door together. Declan and Darren are still resting outside.
Darren is waking up from a nap.
Declan, you should see this. There's some very fascinating things in there. I'm sure find very interesting. This temple, we think it's from the time of the gods before they disappeared.
Do I know anything about that?
Roll me religion.
Darren is taking a piss at a nearby tree.
Excellent. 10.
10.
Loudly.
Aw.
I mean, she must know that there were gods at some point.
Yeah, no, she knows they were gods. You've even...
Does she, though? She's not very smart.
She's not very smart, but, like, you've been at the temple, you've learned some basics, and you do remember the name Pelor, but that's about it. You know that you've heard of it, and you know that it's an old god, but...
It seems that Pelor was represented by, what did you say, Dawn? The sun and a corn sheaf?
It's an agricultural deity. It's to do with the sun, harvest, and also there's fresh food in there. And he just throws the apple at Declan.
I'm concerned by the apple. Anyway, yes. Yeah, it's quite fascinating. Can we have another closer look at that symbol of St. Bernard? Because I'm starting to wonder if perhaps, yes, this is actually nothing to do with St. Bernard, and in fact more to do with...
Sure.
I mean, you can look at it again.
Does it have anything on it other than the sun, or is it exactly like Declan's symbol?
I would have been looking at it during the rest, so...
Yeah, the symbol of Bernard is like the image of Saint Bernard, the one that you are familiar with, the one that was carved into the cliff face next to the temple where you had your training. It's a man in a straw hat with a beard.
Oh, so it is actually...
Well, I don't know, maybe St. Bernard and Pelor were related somehow? Could be. I don't know.
I would imagine perhaps St. Bernard was a worshipper of Pelor before.
Or maybe just took up the mantle when the saints assumed the pantheon.
Yes. I mean, there are many aspects of each of the gods, and I believe that they are split between far more saints than there ever were gods, but... And Kasni sort of looks at the thing a bit more. There's definitely some sort of relation between them, but if this was, in fact, not originally a temple of St. Bernard, that would explain how you'd never heard of it.
Yeah, although, I mean, this does look exactly like St. Bernard should.
It's possible it was also used for St. Bernard afterwards, but, I mean, the scrolls, a number of the scrolls, at least 4 of them, said about this Pelor as being something that was worshipped. So, also, there's these, and I point to the scroll cases that Dawn is... Are you holding them, Dawn?
Yeah.
Or did you give them to Kasni to hold?
No.
Carry as his pack mule?
No, this is important. Dawn would keep these to himself.
Yes.
No, Dawn's carrying them just over his shoulder, I guess, if they're in scroll cases.
They're very old. I would suggest opening them inside, not in the sun.
Yeah, away from direct sunlight.
And not near this pool of stinky water.
Yes, I fully agree.
These scrolls are probably well protected compared to the others we touch, but they're still going to probably be extremely old. So, we don't want a strong gust of wind or a twig.
Kasni, please. I am an archaeologist.
Oh, you are? Oh, I didn't know. It's not come up before. Well then. Okay, I bow to your superior knowledge.
Of course you do.
And Kasni smirks. Oh, really? You shall have to tell me the story sometime.
Is Dawn still holding the apple?
No, he tossed it to Dekla.
Okay. Darren, after relieving himself, is walking back to the group, and he casts Mage Hand to get the apple from Dekla.
Yep, you take it.
Dekla, the apple flies out of your hand.
Whatever. I don't give him the slightest of damns about the apple.
Ah, thank you, Dekla. That's very nice of you. And
Dawn tries to grab the apple before Darren eats it, which is what he suspects he's going to do.
Darren is, as long as no one grabs it out of his mage hand, immediately gonna bite into this apple.
Dawn is going to try and slap it away with his own mage hand.
Kasni is going to wait and see how this turns out.
Dawn, what's your passive perception?
My passive perception is 14.
Yeah, you might notice it out of the corner of your eye. Make me a dex check.
9 plus 5, 14.
I'm gonna say you try to slap it out, but you miss it by just a few centimeters.
I'm like, don't eat that! Never mind.
I eat the apple.
You eat the apple, it's good.
Well, I'm hungry.
Well, this'll answer a few questions. And Dawn just watches Darren quite closely.
Yeah, and Darren takes a bite of the apple, and we'll see what happens next time. Dice Out Now Game is a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons actual play podcast. Our intro and outro music is Bells by Fake Cats Project. If you want to get in touch with us, you can find us at Dice Out Now Game on Twitter, where you will also find links to our personal accounts. If you can, please rate and review our podcast, and tell your friends about us. Now, game!